Hey friends, it is Monday and I'm at the mall, and that doesn't ever happen. Evan's inside shopping, so I've been sitting in the car for 53 minutes waiting for him and his friend to be done shopping, and I shared a little bit in my stories late last night, and I titled this, Tell the Story. So if you followed any of my stories, up in the stories, over on my personal page, by the way, or on my Instagram. I was talking to Jeremy a lot last night about business and business growth, and I was talking about how I got to where I am, meaning how I've had such a career change, such a life change, a couple times actually. And I was talking about some opportunities for growth and really finding my right direction and doing what feels authentic and comfortable and good to me, which is what I've really strived to do this year since being back in network marketing, is to do it the way that speaks to me and makes me feel good about what I'm doing, but allows me to continue to share my message. And I was telling him a story of a day back in 2005, 2006, that actually was the day that I realized I was done. Done being a kindergarten teacher, done living the life that I thought I was going to live forever as far as career goes. And he just kept asking me questions, and he's like, have you ever told that story? And I'm like, yeah, I've told like parts of that story, and I'm sure people have heard some of that story. And he's like, you just need to start telling the story more. He's like, tell the story. And it was kind of funny because I was in counseling not too long ago, because I am a huge proponent of it. I actually started therapy in 2011 because I thought, if I could just get my head right, I would be able to whatever. And I was like, I need therapy. And then I realized this isn't about having a head you got to get right. It's a good, healthy thing to do. So I was visiting with her, and she said, you know what, she's like, do you tell people that? And I said, no, I don't tell them that. People don't need to know that. She's like, when you start telling people that's what you need to do, is tell the story, basically. So today the story is about the day that I decided I was done. And for those of you who know, I used to teach kindergarten, 2000 to 2006. I was a kindergarten teacher. I went to college and got my bachelor's and my master's, and thought that's what I would do forever. Early childhood education all the way. And I got my dream job teaching kindergarten in the exact district I wanted to be in. And for 5 years, I was so happy. I remember taking road trips, like cutting out laminating. Oh my gosh. I worked well more than 40 hours a week, and I loved every single bit of it. And then I would do summer school in the summers. I loved it. And then I had a baby, and I loved him. And he's inside the mall shopping right now. And it was during that year that I went back. So I went back. He was born in January, and I went back from March to May. And I had to teach just a little bit of time. And then summer came. So that was okay. I got through that. And then that next school year was a full year of teaching and being a new mom. And that was a hard year for me. There were two clear moments to me, and I don't know which one defined the rest of the direction that I would go. But I remember specifically, this I think happened before the day I decided I was done, observing an art teacher. In fact, I know this wasn't the day I decided I was done. At first I was just like, oh, that's so sad. An art teacher that always was in my classroom with my kindergarten kids. And I know her name, I can picture her face, and it was clear that she was done. She was done being an art teacher. She didn't want to be here. I don't know why she was staying. I can only speculate. But every single day that we had art, for the 30 minutes that we had art in the kindergarten classroom, at that point the art was done in my classroom. She would bring a half a sheet of paper and crayons. And she would give the kids half a sheet of paper and crayons, and they would color for art class. And I was like, man, that lady's done. She just don't even care. But I don't remember being done yet. The day I was done, I was a new mom, teaching 26 kids, 25 kids, whatever it was. And I remember one little boy who was following me as I was walking to the classroom, through the classroom over to the carpet area where I would read the books to the kids. And he kept saying, Mrs. Callahan, Mrs. Callahan, Mrs. Callahan, Mrs. Callahan. And I just kept walking. And under my breath, I was going, please quit talking to me. Please quit talking to me. Please quit talking to me. And it was at that moment I realized I'm done. I didn't know if I was done forever or done for a minute, but I knew I was done. Because I started realizing if that is how I feel right now, not that you don't have moments, okay? So, follow me here. But if that is truly how I feel about this job that I'm doing, this profession that I've entered, this career that I wanted so bad, if right now at this time in my life, that is where I'm at with it, I'm not serving my students well. And I think the conflict entered my mind that I started to feel like I was giving the best parts of myself every single day to 25 other people's kids. Because I was a good teacher. I loved my kids. I loved my classroom. There is still so much I miss about being a teacher. But I knew that right then I at least needed to stop and think, can I keep doing this? So a lot went through my mind. Maybe I need to change grade levels. Maybe if I taught second grade, I heard that that's a really fun grade. The kids are fun and cool, but it's not so hard as far as mentally exhausting and physically, all the things. I went through all of that. I started thinking about all my options in that way. And I thought, you know what I really want to do right now is I want to be done for a time period. And I just want to stay home. Like, I just want to be a mom at home. I think I only want to do it for a little while. But there was no financial way that was going to happen. So I started teaching. In fact, I was already doing it a little bit. I created a curriculum teaching adults how to sell on eBay. Proposed it to a community college and started teaching adjunct, just non-credit classes. I started running finances for the family business, learned accounting and all the skills that I don't have. And I was just like, hey, if I can, my mom owned the business at the time, if I can just make $500 a month alongside of this and alongside of my full teaching, maybe I can save enough money to just take 1 year off and stay home with my son. I found out that through our district that you can take a certain amount of time off, even if the baby's not brand new. So I worked multiple jobs to be able to afford to take that 1 year off, because I knew, at least for that moment, I was not where I was supposed to be. Hey, Christy. So I walked away just for the time being, got the, letter that I could, take the leave. And I didn't really ever know if I would go back. I remember people saying to me, you're never coming back. And I'm like, oh, I'll be back. I'm only going to take 1 year off. And they're like, no, once you leave, you don't come back. I'm like, I'll be back. I love teaching. I'll be back. And financially, I knew I would have to go back. I didn't have 5 years, 10 years, nothing saved. I just had a little bit, enough to get through that 1 year. It was later that same year, so I took my leave of absence. I finished up teaching in May 2006, and that fall was when I got introduced to the network marketing company that I am with now. And I did not go thinking like I want to do network marketing, because most of us don't feel that way. Most of us don't look and go, I'm so passionate about whatever it is that person in front of me is sharing that I want to quit my job and go do that. What happens with most of us, and I don't know if anybody can identify if you've ever had this moment, what happens with most of us is there's a time where you're just like, done. It's over. I can't do this anymore, but I'm stuck. So I don't know if you've ever had that moment. I know some people are completely fulfilled in exactly what they signed up to do from the very beginning of the day they walked out of their college doors, or the day they walked out of high school, or the day they were born. I don't know. I really thought I would be a teacher forever. And I actually am in a lot of ways. I have a summer camp that I started 7 years ago. It's teaching on my terms. I love it. I've done all the things related to teaching. Of course, I teach and train in my business with adults, not kids. And I've multiplied a few times, so I always have those opportunities at home as well. But for most of us, we don't sit around being like, I dream of being the clean eating girl, or the makeup girl, or some of us have passions for that stuff, but we don't see that being like our end all be all direction. And nor did I. But what I did see is that if I kept doing what I was doing, I didn't even think about it in a financial term. I thought about it like this. I'm going to be that art teacher giving my kids half sheets of paper and crayons in 30 years. And that's not okay. That's not okay. I didn't want to be that. So fortunately, I was introduced to something that I didn't see myself doing, but I knew what I did not want to go back to. Once I got a taste of a little bit of freedom and choice, I knew that that's where I wanted to be. So if I found a vehicle to allow me to continue to live that lifestyle that I was experiencing outside of the full-time classroom, for me it was right, because I was done. Anyway, my time is up. My story is not yet fully written. I've got to go find my teenage son. He's in the mall. But I'm just going to keep telling the story, whether it's the story of the day I ate what did I just eat? CBD gummies. Maybe that's why I'm so relaxed and I'm just talking. Look what I just bought at the mall. Chill gummies. This stuff's legal, don't worry. These are CBD infused gummies. Anyway, maybe it's that. Maybe it's the story of the day I ate the gummies. Maybe it's the story of the day that, I don't know, I sat with Jen on my couch today and just thought about the first day we met and how amazing it is, the relationship that we formed and the friendship we formed. Or maybe it's the story of my favorite mascara. I'm just going to keep telling the story. If you want to listen, I'll just keep talking. I hope you guys have a great day. I got to go into that big scary mall and find my child. I hate malls. All right, I'll talk to y'all. See, that's why I needed the CBD gummies. Anxiety. All right, bye.